It is incredibly hot. It is summer. Summer is doing what summer does. It's hot. It's a little bit humid. It can be rash inducing at times because you sweat a lot. And the flowers, they're giving it the good old college try. They're really trying to hang on. Even these fake ones. I found a nest here the other day, and bees keep trying to pollinate it. I keep saying how much I hate summer, but I know that that's not really positive, and I shouldn't keep saying it. I should try to just lean in to spending some slow summer days. I want to do that, but also in less than a week, my little munchkin will be here. So I have a dilemma. How do I make sure that I'm a really good grandma without neglecting myself? How do I make sure that I take care of the house, but still take care of the baby too? I got a lot of things to think about. This week, before he gets here, I'm just going to have to think about how I'm going to juggle everything. And so I feel like now is a good time to do a reset, a mid year reset for balance. So, one thing we did do last week was we made sure to hang out with friends. My hubby and one of his really good friends have birthdays within days of each other, so we celebrated with them. And that was really a good release. I don't know when we'll be able to do something like this again while the baby's here, but it was good. It was nice to just hang out with them, eat good food, and just have a good time. We went to this food hall called Love Makoto, which is the brainchild of the chef of Makoto and Bal Harper shops in Miami. And I love that restaurant, and I knew I would love this. And it was so good. I highly recommend if you're in the DC area, check out Love Makoto. We went to the steakhouse, but there's other offerings as well. One of the things that I needed to really get done like ASAP was getting the books into their place, the place that they're supposed to go. That's one of the things that I really wanted to get done. And I'm saying wanted like I'm finished. I'm not finished, but I have made a huge dent, like 30 plus years of books that we accumulated. A lot of them were donated. Some were lost. I have corralled a lot of the books. And as you can see behind me, I still have space for books behind me. I have books that are in front of me that I'm going to show you momentarily, and then books to the right of me, bookshelves. I can probably fit more bookshelves in here. I can definitely take the bookshelves up higher, which is what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get the extensions for the billies and, put some books up higher because why not? This is a reading room like a library. So it really just makes sense to do that, right? I have pretty much divided my books primarily between fiction and nonfiction. That's probably the biggest division. Behind me or to the sides of me, because I'm sitting on the daybed and then I have bookcases on either side of me. I didn't put bookcases behind me because I want to do some artwork back here, probably artwork involving books. So I didn't, that's why I don't have anything behind me. Plus, if I really wanted to, I could put like a little table back there and like a lamp. I probably won't do that, but I can, or a ledge or something that I could like sit things on if I need to. I'm considering that. But right now, my primary concern is the books. So behind me here, this is my right, to the right of me, as you can see, I've color coded the books. I have like white books and then blue and like turquoise and green. And then this is supposed to be the pink bookshelf, which I did have a lot of pink books, but most of them are nonfiction. And this is really primarily only fiction. I have some nonfiction in there because I just haven't pulled them out yet. And then there's red, and then it goes down, and I think it's like black and multicolored down at the bottom where you can't see it. So it doesn't really matter if it's color coordinated. And then here I have yellow and orange books here, and then green right here, and then more of the like white neutral books up top. So there, and then there, And then I have neutral books here, like grays and beiges and whatever. So it's very loosely color coded. I'm not, it's not a project. It's just I kind of wanted to keep the colors together just because I like the way that looks. And when I'm filming in here, I think it kind of looks nice too. I may modify it at some point when I have more time, but it's not that serious. It's really not. You can see these are primarily nonfiction books. The first shelf is classics or books that I just really love. That's going to be the first shelf. And then the second shelf, those are fiction books. They just happen to all be black. I more than likely will move the second shelf over here and then replace that second shelf, keep that second shelf kind of open for more books that I really, really love, like my 5-star reads. I think I want to put on those first two shelves, or books that I read a long time ago that are classics. Books that like have some level of importance will go on those two shelves. And then the 4 shelves below are all nonfiction. They're biographies, they're self-help. I think there's a couple of books of poetry, and then just some books like, factual type books. Like the Basquiat book, which is not really an autobiography. I don't think it's an autobiography. I think it just goes through his works of art, like his different paintings and stuff. And the Banksy book, same thing. I don't think that is down here. I don't think that is, I don't think that's a biography. I don't think either of those are biographies. And then there's a couple of books, like I said, that are like the Myrtle book. Doesn't really quite fit into the self-help category or the biography category, but is not necessarily a novel either. There it is. There it is right there, the Myrtle book. Yeah. So books like that, books that are not novels, that are not fiction. I have them on those shelves, and then on these shelves here as well. And I think I will just take all the nonfiction books all the way down, because if I run out of like just regular books, I can also put some coffee table books that I have as well, some textbooks that I have, things like that. So right now, just the first 2 shelves still have fiction on them. And like I said, those are gonna be eventually like more important books. I may also take the top 2 shelves here and move those books down, and then just keep the fiction books like the bottom 4 shelves on each side. Um, that just depends on how, that just depends on how, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say OCD. That just depends on how persnickety I want to be. There we go. That just depends on how persnickety I want to be. Like, do I really want to be that elaborate with my organization? I don't know. I have still tons of books downstairs in the living room, but they're mostly like nonfiction books, and they're like gift books and coffee table books. So I don't think I would necessarily want them up here. But I do suspect that I have several that probably fit right in this category, where they're small novel size books, but they're nonfiction. I suspect I have more than I can even imagine down there, but they're mixed in with like a lot of my design books and craft books and things like that. So it would be a matter of just pulling those out, and I don't feel like doing that right now. So that's what we have, and I'll give you a once over of the room. I realize that I'm going to have to keep things in order to keep things in order. I'm considering waking up earlier to do things for myself like skincare, journaling, reading, eating better, and moving my body. And of course, keeping things tidy is number 1 on the list. Most days I make my bed, so that's not anything new, but I may have to just remember to do it earlier. The key is to wake up before the little munchkin wakes up. And he's a good sleeper, but he also wakes up early. And the first thing he wants, no matter what, is breakfast. So I need to be on top of things. And keeping things neat and tidy is obviously the first thing on the list, keeping things organized and just kind of making things easier on myself. Something that I haven't really talked about on this channel is the fact that I have what I do believe is lipedema, which is self-diagnosed, obviously, but based on what I've been seeing and the criteria for having it, I I have it. And I discovered this when I went to get my massage therapy, and my massage therapist was really struggling to get my lymph moving. And while I do have fat deposits on my thighs, in my stomach area, in my back, on my arms, mostly it's my arms and my thighs that have most of the fat deposits. It's lipedema fat is a little bit different from regular fat. There's knots of fat. It's not just like, the squishy fat we think about. I have a lot of knots in my body. And part of it is genetic. Part of it can be from trauma, which I did suffer a little bit from my my laser lipo experience. And just also age too, and inflammation. So I swell a lot. And it's kind of cyclical because sometimes it hurts to move, so I don't want to move, but movement actually helps. So I bought a vibrating plate, and I have only done like 5 minutes each time because it really makes my thighs burn, but it has been helping. And I just want to get into the habit of getting up in the morning and doing about 10 minutes on the vibrating plate, and then doing some sort of exercise just to get my body moving. And also the vibration plate is really great for getting the lymph flowing as well. I've only been using it for about 3 days, but I see such a difference. Another component of this is diet. The key is to eat as many anti-inflammatory foods as possible, and I don't always get that done. But what I'm choosing to do is I'm choosing to follow the idea of getting as many fruits and vegetables into my diet as possible and mixing that in with anti-inflammatory foods. I'm not going to talk about it too much in this video because that's technically not what this video is about, but at some point when I do a meal prep or what I eat in a day type video, I will show you what I mean by anti-inflammatory foods. But in this instance, I am just making some peach preserves, my version of peach preserves. I got the peaches, I love peaches, about the peach truck tour because I featured that a couple videos ago. And I think I even ate a peach in the last video. I'm pretty sure I did because I've been eating a lot of peaches. But some of the peaches, they're riper than others, and some of the peaches were getting very soft. So one of the things that you can do with really soft peaches is you can make your own peach preserves, your homemade peach preserves. Now, peach preserves or peach jams, peach jellies, whatever you want to call them, I call mine just the homemade peach spread. They can be very high in sugar because they add a ton of sugar to give it that jelly-like consistency. And so a lot of the times when you get a store-bought preserve or jelly, you are actually just getting a ton of sugar. And if anything is going to inflame your body, sugar will do it. Sugar is the worst. Added sugar, a lot of added just white refined sugar that will inflame you. So I try to keep that sugar to a minimum. And honestly, I'm not always successful because I do like sweet things sometimes. And for whatever reason, even though I should probably eat more savory things in the morning and I should at least start off with something that's got a lot of fiber in it, I tend to gravitate to sugar and carbs for breakfast. I love a good croissant. I love a good donut. I love those things. I also like a savory breakfast as well. Quiche is always a good choice for me. Something that has eggs in it is also a good choice, but I love donuts. I love sweets, although I have cut back on my sweets quite a bit on my refined sweets. Like I don't eat as many cookies and donuts and stuff, although I did buy a couple this last weekend. I don't know what that's about, but hopefully they'll last a pretty long time. Sometimes when I pass the bakery section where they have like specialty things like scones and things like that, I grab them because I think of them as a treat, but it's crazy. it's very hard sometimes to find, especially in a grocery store, just one or two, like just one scone or two scones. No, they have to give you six. So I'll probably just freeze the other ones that I have because I did buy a box of scones to go with this preserve, with these preserves. I do want to make scones at some point, but because I really didn't feel like it this weekend and I didn't really have that kind of time, I decided to just pick up some scones to go with my peach preserves. But this is not a bad process. You pretty much just skin your peaches, make sure that, obviously all the skin is removed. These peaches are probably the smushiest or the softest of the ones that I have. So I just cut them in pieces and wedges first and then proceed to move the skin. Once all of the skin is removed, you just cut your peaches into smaller pieces. And you could actually really chop them up really finely here. I did not do that yet, but you can. It just depends on your preference, basically. I wanted my peaches to get a little bit softer before I really chop them up. So here I just chop them into just like thin slices. After chopping them into thin slices, I add my peaches and a little bit of sugar. For me, it was just like maybe 2 tablespoons of sugar. I didn't measure it out. I always let the ancestors tell me, but maybe 2 tablespoons, maybe a tablespoon and a half. Not a ton of sugar because I want to be mindful of the amount of sugar. If I were making traditional jam or jelly or some sort of preserves, I would add way more sugar. I would also probably have way more peaches. I've never canned anything, so I don't really know how all that works, but I know that there is a lot of sugar in any type of jam or jelly that's made from fruit, a lot of added sugar in order to give it, like I said, that gel-like consistency. I'm not really going for the gel-like consistency. I just want to basically go for a lovely layer of small peach bits on whatever I'm eating, whether it's a scone or toast or whatever. So you bring it all to a boil and then you turn it down and you let it simmer. I've also added a little bit of lemon extract and a little bit of vanilla extract. So you get quite a bit of sweetness from the vanilla extract without actually adding sugar. Once it's all come to a boil, then I pull it away from the fire and I just smush it up to give it that chunky peach consistency. It has a little bit of a sauce to it, but it's not necessarily like jelly. It's just clumped peach pieces, for lack of a better description. But this is what's going to give me the spreading consistency that I need. So I smush it as much as I can just to get it down. The same thing you would do in a food processor. I put it back over the fire, let it simmer a little bit more, and I'm actually going to move this to a smaller pan because I really want it to build up those juices. And with the pan spread out like this, it's kind of hard to like really get it hot enough, like all in the center. You could also add like pineapple juice or lime juice to it as well if you like a little more of a syrupy consistency. The key though is to make it all thicken up so that the clumps of peaches stick together and you can use them as a spread on your toast or your scone, which is what I'm going to do. I think the whole process may have taken less than 12 to 15 minutes, if that. I should probably time these things because I am not a good gauger of time, but I think the whole process took me maybe 25 minutes. So, not too bad to have some nice, healthier homemade peach preserves. And this can count as one serving of fruit because I think we need something like, was it 4 to 8 servings of fruit and vegetables per day, something like that. This counts, especially because it's not loaded with sugar. When it's all finished, I put it in a Truff mayonnaise jar that I just happen to have, like perfect timing. and then I put it on my scone. I thought I had a video of me tasting it, but I don't think I actually filmed that video. I thought I did though. But it was really good. The scone was a little sweeter than I like. I typically like my scones to not have a lot of sugar in them. So other than that though, the peach preserves themselves were very good. Along with my scone on this particular day, I also had some avocado toast. Avocado is a good source of protein. It is a great source of fiber, and it's the good fats. So I had that with some salmon. This is really a good breakfast to start with. It's always good to start with something savory and that has protein and fiber in it. And then you have your sweet stuff. I did it backwards today, but I usually go for my protein and my fiber first. And then if I have something sweet, that's a bonus. In this instance, I'm not sure how anti-inflammatory everything is, but one thing that I do know is that it's better to have something homemade than to have a whole lot of processed food, because processed foods will absolutely inflame your body. But the more I learn, the more I'll share. So stay tuned for more content like this. And guess what, y'all? I did a thing. I bought some roller skates. I've been trying to buy roller skates since 2020, and it has not been that easy. Roller skates like disappeared for a while because everybody was buying them. Then I forgot about them, and then I decided to buy them. And I have already gone out on these. I did not get any footage for that. I live on a hill, and it's hard to skate uphill on concrete. I'm going to have to go to the skating rink, you guys. I got to do it. I don't know if I can handle being out in these streets on my skates yet. There's a lady in my neighborhood though. She lives in the flatter section of our subdivision. And when it gets warm, you can see her out like in the middle of the street, like getting down. And I think that's amazing, especially because she seems closer to my age than she does to the teenage years. Yes, I'm watching the Olympic trials in the back. So I know that it's doable. I used to be a skating fiend as a kid, and it's something that I want to get back into because it is good exercise and it's a lot easier on these vintage joints of mine. One of the other things I'm getting on top of, and I mentioned this in another video, is my hair. I bought the Sacred line. I have used these products already and I love, love, love them. I've used the deep conditioner twice. My hair is so soft and it's not shedding. So that's a bonus because, like I said, my hair was very damaged. I've only used the two shampoos once. My daughter has already come and, because she has wanted to sample, of course. So she's already come and commandeered them. I have to go and rescue them back. But I'm going to use them again. So far, I love the products. I've used the deep conditioner, the restoring conditioner, which is like Olaplex or K18, the hydrating shampoo, and then the clarifying shampoo. Those are the 4 products that I've used. I have not had an opportunity to use the rice rinse. I think that's what it's called. The rinse, the 2-step rinse that is supposed to be really nourishing for your hair. I have not had a chance to use that yet because I don't have the vessel, the sacred vessel. And I want it, you guys, because I want the full experience. I mean, I know I could just go grab one of those unused water bottles that I have in my cabinet in my kitchen, but I just don't think that's the same. Maybe I will though, because I really want to use the products, and I really want to braid my hair, even though I have very little of it. I want to braid it again. So the stronger I can get my hair, the better. So I think this is a good list of things. I ran across this reel that had the 6 luxuries in life, and this person listed them as time, health, a quiet mind, slow mornings, the ability to travel, and a house full of love. And I wrote them in my journal. As you can see, I wrote them in there on Monday, the 10th of June. And I really do believe that. I did add that literacy is also a luxury because I do believe that. But I feel this list, and this is what I want to achieve. So that's what I'll be working on this week leading up to the arrival of my munchkin. And this is the beginnings anyway of my reset. I'll keep you posted on how things go. And in the meantime, I'll also leave you with video of my hair. This is how it turned out after I used the Sacred products. It was so pretty. And this lasted for about a week. It was really pretty. So I think I'm going to continue to use them, and hopefully they'll help me grow my hair out. All right, I'm gonna love you guys and leave you here, but I will see you in the next one.